Welcome back to the Fan Awakens. I'm your host Eli with my friend, my co-host on the other side actually, my guy Parade. How you doing, man?
What is up, everybody? Parade is back, and I'm so happy to be doing another episode review of Andor. Let's go.
Andor episode 8. Uh
I know.
another episode in the we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. We're getting down to the end. Of course, this is
hmm
going to be spoiler heavy. Um
Yes.
my guy Parade over there again. I have the cameras flipped. Drip King right here. Why don't you show off what we got?
Oh, we got the anniversary edition of the
Mm,
Star Wars Celebration exclusive Django Fett windbreaker.
real
Rocking that
nice.
today.
Love it. Love it. I
Exclusive.
unfortunately am showing further my lack of winter wear with Star Wars as this shirt, my mom actually she ordered like a jacket or something from
Yeah.
Disney.com, and they sent her this just long sleeve and she's like, "Hey, do you want it?" I'm like, "Sure."
Sure.
And so that's what I'm wearing today. It's just got a sunset, and we can say that it's I don't know what Star Wars. This is
It's
gonna be
Aldani.
Aldani. Yeah, Aldani. It's
Yeah,
my
it's
Aldani shirt.
Aldani. Yeah, it looks just like it. Same
Perfect.
green hills and trees and everything.
Meant to be. No dual sunsets here. But this episode is out. Episode 8. We're on the heels of episode 9, which is crazy.
I
Um,
know.
Almost as many episodes as Skywalker Saga movies here. And the train is rolling. Now, we haven't really talked about this off air at all yet. A lot of times we'll kind
Mm-mm.
of get into it a little bit. We won't even mean to. We'll just kind of sidetrack and talk about it before we talk about it. Um, but what do you think of this episode? I know you're the numbers guy, and I like
I know.
that as far as
I always want to know where the rankings are, and I feel like you skew higher than me.
yep.
Um, I wasn't as high on the last episode. I think I said 7 or 7.5.
I think yep.
This one, I'm back at 8.5. It was it was a good jail episode.
It was
We
a
were
good
talking.
jail
It
episode.
was a good jail episode. Um, it was like I said, it was in our previous episode we were saying how Star Wars jails are boring. There's not.
Yep.
It's just usually a box. Um, this is more intriguing and more dynamic than what I was expecting. I won't get into the scenes, but we'll talk about it. But there was enough going on in there to kind of give us some. We talked about interesting supporting cast, interesting new characters, intrigue. So it had all that. I was back in, and I believe you were right about those rumors of Seven being a standalone, kind of separating the two
Yeah.
arcs, and then I feel like we're gonna get 3 episode arc of this,
I
the
wish I
escape,
knew who
and then
originated that.
climax.
I don't. I tried to find it, and I don't know who it was because it got posted a bunch of times, and
Yeah,
so like it's hard to find whoever. It might have been from Tony Gilroy actually. Actually, I think it was. I wish I knew who reported it first, but
sure.
yes. I. What did you give it? An 8.5?
8.5,
All
eight
right.
five,
I actually
strong eight
think
five.
I'm about. I think I'm at 8.5 also.
Nice.
I really liked the episode. It was a really great prison episode. Not what I
hmm
expected from the prison episode, but something that it was unexpected but still very in depth. Had sort of the dynamics of this prison, and they broke it down, but it wasn't just for the sake of like exposition, just over explaining things. They showed us. Yes, there's a scene with a certain character who we'll get to explaining sort of how things are run, but
Yeah,
it was still still great visuals,
yeah.
great writing as always. Surprises in the episode that didn't feel shoehorned, and so I'm excited. I'm excited to talk about this thing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, just the themes of it. It was just stark. It was desperate. It visceral. Like
Yeah,
I felt it was really hard to watch some of the scenes. I mean, especially like the electrocution. I'm glad they only showed it once. Like when
yeah.
it happened the one time, I was like, oh, I mean, it happens again, but just less
They do,
so.
yeah, less so. When they first show it, it's like, oh my god, they
Yeah,
are. Like I just
yeah,
kept thinking about those little prank things where you pull the little gum stick and it like gives you
yeah,
this little shock.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah,
I just thought about that, but on my feet.
yeah,
But
yeah. I couldn't imagine.
times
I couldn't imagine.
30,000. Uh,
Yeah,
how many Scovilles is that on your feet? I don't know,
I had no
but
idea.
geez, they said level 1 to 3. But this
Yeah,
episode, if you want to dive in, pretty
let's go.
much starts out with Cassian being shipped out. He's walking in
Right.
a line. There's multiple transports. Who knows
hmm
what he would have gotten had he said he was from somewhere else? uh, he says, that was, what did he say? Cliff. I'm Keith. I'm Keith
Keith
from,
Karga. I'm
yeah.
just a tourist. I'm just a
And
tourist.
like, Narkina 5. He's like, what's that
Yeah.
mean? And, I,
Well, I think they said it was like physicality because remember
yeah,
when he gets there, they're like, "You're physically fit to do
that's
this."
true.
So I'm wondering, man, the poor souls that have to go into the
That's,
other transports either not fit, like are they
that's what I'm
just killing them?
saying. I don't know. Like, did he get the short stick or did he get the meat? I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm pretty
The,
sure it's I don't know. It
it
seems pretty like a bad
also
situation.
seems like a life sentence.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
there's but he gets shipped off. That I like what they showed with the transports too, like shoes off, all that. Then they have
right.
those magnetic bands, pulls their wrists,
Yeah, yeah,
they're
yeah, yeah,
restrained. I thought that was
yeah.
a cool play on. We've seen the binds a million times, but
Right.
there's just a new but functional version of it, it seems. And I do
Mhm.
like when they add things that are within the world but functional. They're not just there to be like, I don't know, sell merch or something. It's like
Sure.
it's there for, you know what I mean? Like, no.
Galaxy's Edge, the new magnetic binding chairs. Like,
Exactly. They're not. I don't think they're like, come on down, bring the whole
sure,
family.
sure,
Well,
yeah. No,
um,
it's definitely show the restraint or the stranglehold they have on these prisoners.
yeah,
The beginnings of it, because I thought they were just checking shoes. He's like, "Take off your shoes," and I thought, "Oh, they're just checking shoes,
typical.
maybe get
Yeah,
him back." But they didn't get him back,
I
and
did
I was like,
not.
"What is going on?" I almost forgot the scene. So when they land, the guy goes, "Take a deep breath. This is probably the last time we're
Yeah,
gonna have fresh air." I was like, "Oh man, you're probably right."
I know, dude. And as we get into this prison, first off, if you're into feet, I think this is your episode. But this, like, when I was waiting for written and directed by Quentin Tarantino, but
Yeah, yeah,
like they did set the scene very well, and when they walk in, it does feel like, man, this is once that door shut, because it was kind of beautiful when they flew in, vast
yeah,
ocean, and I'm like, this is a
yeah, yeah.
really nice looking shot. And then the
Sure.
doors close, and you're just in the institution. You
Mhm.
are, they're using them as essentially slave labor,
Yeah.
for the empire. Uh, I don't know what they're exactly making there. I'm not sure,
Right.
but wow, what an intro. They let him know, you may. I love that he's like, total. We don't have weapons on us. You may think that's
We don't
because,
have to
yeah,
because all we have is this little but boom. And when he hit it, it reminded me of like almost like the dog shot collars, but
yeah.
it was just so like just the way they like shook and
I know they were
just the
like
acting that they had to do there.
exactly. They're
It,
like almost oh my gosh, what are they called? Like, in the horror movie what is it, The Ring, or what? Homegirl is just like,
yeah,
yeah,
like
the
contortioning their
contortionists. There you
bodies.
go.
Yeah,
They're like
yeah,
contortionists there. Like Andor was like bent all kinds of ways. Um,
yeah. It
like
was.
it's not gotta got that can't be good for your back. Um,
Yeah. Well, because when they walk in, I'm looking at their shoes. I was like, "Oh, those are kind of interesting for Empire, like the orange." And I'm
yeah,
like, "Wait a minute." I was like, "Wait a minute, something's up." And when it
I
happened, I was like,
know.
"Oh no." Um, because he's like, "Yeah, we don't actually have to do it that much, but when it happens, he pretty much stays in line." But there were guns in that. There was guns in that prison.
Yeah,
I
yeah. I
Yeah,
think
yeah, yeah.
they had some, and they had some sort of like shock sticks, right? Or
Shock
some.
stick. Yeah.
I
But I
remember.
like how they just. Oh, sorry,
No, go
sorry,
ahead.
sorry. Go
That's
ahead.
all you.
I said, I love. So one thing I didn't realize. I mean, I did kind of realize. Andor's strength is his perception and being observant.
Yeah,
And they talk about him, with the guns when he was all Donnie, everyone how they're holding their guns and stuff. But they made it more obvious in this one, checking out the boots, keeping tabs on or making a note of, oh, there's the guy, the delivery is not here, and oh, sorry, I'm late, and like how the security functions and like
yeah.
finding the flaws there. So I'm wondering how much more he's picked up in the 30-day shifts or the 30 shifts he's been in there. Um,
Exactly. Yeah, because they make
but
that
like
jump, and it's ooh.
yeah, yeah, but I was surprised, like, the boots are just, like, right there, like they're
I
like, "Oh, no one's gonna take these. They're just right here."
they got comfortable,
Um, so, yeah, you just gotta I mean, I'm sure there's gonna be enough for our group to grab some boots to make their escape because obviously Andor survives, right? So,
Yep.
looking forward to the prison break, but, what was the point you were gonna
I
make?
was I was just gonna say, they called it tungstoid steel, I believe. And
Oh,
I
yeah,
just
yeah,
want to
yeah.
know, like, man, obviously very conductive, it seems.
Yeah.
But as we go through this episode, we obviously get through that, and he's very perceptive. Not, like you said, he's perceiving everything. He's taking mental notes. He sees later in the episode, which we'll get to, there's people sort of using sign language of some sorts
Right, right.
between levels and things like that. I'm
Mhm.
sure that's something that he will inquire about. But
Yeah.
you can kind of see that he's piecing these things together and already sort of trying to take these notes and formulate, make up some sort of plan of some sort. At least have these he's putting things to memory even when
Yeah.
he's in the fold. It's been 30 days, 30 shifts. I'm sure that those are things that he's spending his time thinking about.
Yeah.
um
How to get out, right?
yep. But we do jump back and forth a little bit in this episode.
Sure,
After
yeah.
he gets shipped off, we jump to someone
Cyril?
who's Cyril Karn. Cyril Karn, we these threads, a lot of them started to come together in this episode.
Mhm.
um Cyril Karn, Daedra. Obviously, Daedra's all over the place in this episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
She had a great episode. She brings Cyril Karn in, bringing
Yep.
him in for questioning.
Yep.
And this, in so many other projects, would have gone exactly as he expected it to. I think, where
Yeah.
where she would question him, and he'd bring up all this info, and then state his claim like, "We need him," and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
they,
yeah, 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 that's not and I mean, that was my prediction, right? Like,
and
I
that's
was
where I
like
thought it was going.
yeah, yeah. I was just like, "Here he goes. Here's where Parade cashes in on being right." And I mean, I think it's still open for that. I don't
Yeah,
think it's a closed door,
me
but
either.
even her even just giving him the report to look through
Yeah,
because she wants to know,
she
right?
does.
Him telling him Blevins told me this and that, and she's like, "That's not there," and then, them confirming and comparing notes. Um, I thought that was interesting, but, yeah, I think he knows he'll be asked upon again soon, but she's like, "Stop stop raising red flags.
Yeah,
You're annoying. Don't stop doing that."
I like it. Yeah, she just put him, put it because he tried to keep going. She kind of put him
Mhm.
in his place once, and he stood up for himself, and he's like, "Hi, it's clear you need Andor for this," and she's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"You need basically shut up and
Yeah, yeah, "You
leave.
need to sit down, shut up, get out, please.
we,
I don't wanna hear
we
this."
will call you when we need you." Essentially, if, but she definitely listened to, he gave great information. And
Mhm.
I did love that scene where they're like, "Today of all days," she's like, "We have time, give him the records, let him read through them." um
Yeah.
and I just thought that was great, great conversation scene between them two. um and then she goes back into the sort of conference,
Okay, I
meeting,
couldn't remember which happened first. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
with Wolf Yularen
Yularen, yeah.
back at the top of the table, and she's basically asking for funding. She's like, "We need
Yeah.
lots of money, lots." Well, she didn't
Mhm.
exactly say that, but he had a report, and he's like, "You're asking for this and this and this," and I'm not gonna lie, she speaks her mind. She's like, "That's only a
Yeah,
fraction of the cost of the
yeah.
stolen, hardware and things like that." But her officer, I forget his name, he stood up for her.
Oh, I forget his name.
He was
Yeah.
he
Oh, Paragast?
yeah, Paragast.
Yeah.
He stood up, and I thought, she's moving up the ranks, man. She
Yeah.
seems like she's climbing that ladder. But I love all those scenes. Anytime we're in that room, I get excited.
Yeah, yeah, 'cause I wanna see what goes down, what's being said. It's always super interesting, seeing, the administration of the ISB of, the Empire. Like, I don't think
Yeah.
we see that enough. It's usually, like, military combat, but these are this is the paper pushers and, you know,
Yeah. And
them trying
usually
to
when we do get
figure
that,
out
it's like there's always like a Sith or a Force user just like force choke someone and end the conversation there.
correct, yeah.
And this, I mean, no one's force choking anybody, but
Mhm.
they're just fighting with those words. Everybody's trying to find the edge, and I do think that now with Daedra, she's spearheading this, and it's getting
Yeah.
bigger, and the rebellion is getting bolder. We got some more things there, of course. Um,
Oh, well, before we move on, Luthen is his profile name is Axis here.
yep.
Very cool.
Yeah,
So
heck
we're looking
yeah,
for
cool code
Axis.
name. Like Axis, it made me think back to, I'm actually just started rewatching Rebels again,
Mhm.
and with now that I say it, my mind went blank. What they
Fulcrum.
call Fulcrum? Yeah, Welcome. That's a
Yeah,
cool name, but
it's a cool name.
Axe is cool. You know, it's a cool like wanted poster name. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
Axe. It's
Well, I
the
mean, like,
Axis.
the Axis powers, you know, in the
Yeah.
World Wars. So it's, you know, these traitorous, you know, villains of this war. I mean, even it was funny because the conversation with Cyril, he's like, he was wearing a green coat and some boots. It's like this is Star Wars,
I
man.
didn't get a good
Everybody's wearing
look.
a green coat and boots. But then his voice, though, his voice, you
That is
know,
true.
that'll give them away, you know, if they happen to
Cross
walk
paths.
through, yeah, the antiques place, and you know,
Oh
yeah,
man, yeah, just a yeah. Honestly, a green coat. It's like it reminds me of like the news, you know, bloopers where it's like they had
yeah.
the kid sketch the assailant, and it's just like
The drawing, the caricature of the
he
wanted
he
person. Yeah,
had a coat and boots and a blaster.
yeah. Of
Um,
course he did.
like
Give me
okay,
some information I can use.
it was dark,
Um, but
but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Good. I'm trying to remember what happens after
So
that.
you know, after that, we kind of go back, and that's when we meet Andy Serkis, which I did
Oh, right.
not expect. Who would? Who would? I'm like, we got the Supreme Leader prequel going on.
I'm trying to. You know, what's so funny is where does your mind go to first when you see Andy Serkis? Because it didn't go to Snoke for me first. I didn't put the
So
two together.
I watched episode 7 so many times that
Yeah,
immediately, even though the voice isn't the same,
yeah,
I can hear it,
you
and
can
so I
still hear it.
immediately did think of Snoke,
Yeah. Okay,
and
okay.
immediately I'm like, man, this guy's gonna turn into the Supreme Leader. This he's gonna get some height extensions. He's gonna
The electricity burns the skin? Huh? Huh? No.
no,
It's not.
no. This
It's
is
not. There's no
but
way.
I think that Andy Serkis is one of those people who I've been saying this for a long time too. I'm not trying. A lot of people have, but like you know, he was known as like the mocap guy. You know, like
Yeah.
he's a
Yeah.
mocap guy for good reason. He's great, but
Yeah.
he can act. He's
He
so
can act.
great as an actor,
Yeah.
as like a non mocap actor. I'll put him in anything. He's fantastic. I thought that
I agree.
he fit into his role. You know, it wasn't like, oh, that's Andy Serkis in a Star Wars show. He fit into his role, and he is such a big name that it is sometimes like, holy shit, that's Andy Serkis. You know, but
Yeah. Well, my mind, it went Andy Serkis.
yeah,
I think I went Golem, and then I
gotcha.
think I went Ulysses Claw. Like that was the order of operations my mind went. I was listening to another podcast. They went Caesar from
Planet of
Planet
the
of
Apes.
the Apes.
I have a Planet of
And
the Apes poster right here. I
oh,
swear.
nice, nice. Great trilogy, the Rise trilogy. But yeah, I mean, he's been in so much. Like,
Yeah,
I'm curious, and I'll probably ask for people to comment where their mind went, because to me, it
great.
didn't go to Snoke right away.
Absolutely.
Um,
What did you think of first when you saw
yeah,
Andy Serkis? What did you think
for
of?
sure. I want to
Uh,
know because I
who-
think that it's a fun mind game. Like
what's
a
the least? What's the last thing you'd think of?
King Kong.
Kink. That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah,
But you
yeah.
know what's sad? I'm not. I'm beyond. The second, not I love the movie, but the second thing that I thought of for some reason was Alfred in the newest Batman movie, even though he's
Oh yeah,
barely in it.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
just have that. I watched that trailer a million times, and I have like
Okay.
there's a little bit of voiceover from him in the trailer, and I have
Yeah,
those
you're right.
lines
Yeah.
like nailed in my head. Um, but I loved it. You know, he comes in, he's like, we have 7 levels of factory, seven rooms per floor, 7 tables per room, 7 people per table, and
Yeah,
all 49 of you like are I'm in charge of all 49 of you.
yeah,
We have to I'm used to being in the top 3 in the room, and
yeah,
basically your table's in last.
yeah,
So
yeah.
last place gets punished.
Yeah.
Get to work.
Awful. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, what's crazy is I feel like this character, just because of the setting that they're in, is gonna stick in my brain really hard. Because yes, it's Andy Serkis, but his character is mean. Like,
He is me.
it's it's visceral to me. Like, this really stuck out. Like, this is an awful place to
It is
be
a
right
terrible
now.
place.
And to be punished every day. And then, like, he says, like, you know, all the teams play against each other and we're all playing against the levels. And Ender's
Yes.
like, play? He's like, however you want to put it.
Yep.
But like, that's his mindset. It's just a game. And it just reminds me of like Squid Games and stuff. It's just like,
Yeah,
oh, it's so
man.
just
It's
gross. And
and he said he has like 213 days left of his sentence or whatever, you know.
yeah, yeah, less than a
He's not
year.
getting out, but
No.
unless, you know, he's a lifer. But it is
He
crazy that
knows.
he's one of them, you know, he's one of them, but he's in this position where he's sort of higher on this hierarchy. I'm sure that he's still getting punished in some form. You
Sure.
know, he's obviously very stressed and very
Yeah.
serious. I don't know about stress, but very, 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 very serious about this. Um,
Well, I'm wondering too if the floor isn't performing against the other floors,
yep,
that if the main person gets punished. 'Cause,
I'm
you
sure.
notice how they're like, "Oh, table such and such is behind
Yeah,
by just a few minutes," or whatever, and I'm like, the micromanaginess, the just oppression, it's just like,
is
it was
everything? Yeah, it's just such a ooh, oppressed, corrupt system on display here. As good as any, because you're right. You know these, and who knows how many of these people are here for nothing, like
a
Cassian.
lot of them
A lot of
probably,
them.
yeah, a
It
lot of them.
doesn't. When you look at this group of people, one thing that stuck out to me is this doesn't look like the people you'd find necessarily in like the cantina on Mos Eisley. It doesn't look like some just scum and villainy. As you know, you think, oh, it's prison. You know, you're gonna have all these terrible people there, and it's not necessarily the case. You know,
Yeah.
who knows
You know,
why these people are here?
one thing I noticed, there was no aliens
There was
in
not.
here, right?
Yeah,
I
no,
wonder if
not.
that's intentional or non-intentional.
I hope it's intentional. I hope there's some reasoning. I would
There's, like, they're
say
actually separating
maybe just because
species.
like they've been pretty good in this show. Something I've complained about in past shows that like they've been pretty good about including a decent amount of alien life, even if
Yeah.
not any main characters really. Um, they and that maybe is I would say I wouldn't really I haven't thought about that yet. We haven't really gotten a single main character who's an alien,
No, not yet.
which I would like. But we've at least gotten them within the worlds and the crowds of people. Um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, we have.
I hope, I imagine at least, even if it wasn't intentional, I think they can easily say it was thanks to them with that separation of like in the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah, that's what
Uh,
I was thinking of too.
so even if it wasn't lore, I'm sure that they'll make it if questioned, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Or they're like, "Oh, they're just different levels," you
Yeah.
know? Maybe, like, what they're capable of doing. I don't know. I just thought it was weird. I'm like, "Oh, there's no, like, alien humanoids in here like Twi'leks or Zabraks or any like,
Yeah.
something simple you can do."
Some like
I didn't look
humanoid
that
type.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't look super hard, but, I'm wondering if that was
I mean,
a choice or not.
with this though, I honestly I would love to see a whole movie of a Star Wars prison thing going on if it's like this
Man,
or something else. I know it'd be you know, I just think that flesh out the world more.
yeah.
I thought like we said, I'm just so glad that it wasn't because it easily could have been. It wasn't just cells, cell, cell, cell,
Yeah.
cell. Here you are. There's a guy across the cell singing. There's or just closed in the block of isolation and being questioned
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
With this though, and then we get to their housing quarters, if you
Oh,
will,
right, right.
and oh man, that is so intense. Cassian almost lost it. He was standing around too long and just barely stepped off it. But
Yeah.
they're telling him, maybe we'll get a winner. Winner gets flavor in their food. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
that was
oh my
crazy.
god. It reminded me of like Snowpiercer. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah,
But
yeah, very
remind me a bit of
similar.
that, Obviously that's a bit different what they were feeding them. Who knows though? Who knows what this is? Just eat out the tube, have as much as you like. They like us
I
being
really
well fed. Ugh.
I really hope it's not people
Ye-
that died there. Hopefully it's like fish from the water. I don't
That's
know.
optimistic. I hope so too. I didn't think about that.
I was just like, "Where's it coming from?" Yeah, hopefully it doesn't take a turn because that would be awful.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm horrible. I'm like, "Oh, those rooms actually look not too bad," you know? I can see.
Coming to what is that super expensive hotel in
Yeah, yeah, I was gonna say the Star Cruiser. So
it's like we have a new discounted option
yeah, yeah. If you don't want to pay the $6,000 per person, we have the $1,000 experience, the Andor experience.
and you get to work the rest of it off.
Yeah, yeah. Play these mini games with your family. But it's like how crazy, like no doors, it's just electrical floor.
Yep.
You have the tube to drink out of, your sentences on there, and then even them doubling up. Oh man, doubling up.
Dude.
Like you think it's just the people who are getting sentenced now. No, they're doubling up everybody who's already been sentenced. So like the old guy, he had only 74 days.
Yep.
So he was almost going to be out in a month, So it's like crazy to think,
Yeah,
that he's
man.
like, I'm almost, oh, and he's probably going to die there.
Yeah, no. I think so too. And with that, like, you know, they really have them on you know, on a really really strict schedule here, 12-hour shifts, day shift, night shift. That thing is that
12 hours.
factory
Yeah.
has always going. It's always
Yeah.
going. Um, I do want to know, even though it doesn't matter, it seems like some part, what is this
Yeah.
part? How many of these? We saw different prisons around, within the water. Are they
Yeah.
making different parts? Or are we
Have
making the
to
same?
make
Yeah,
all parts. They have to.
I'm sure they are. And, this is just another cool thing is this shows cool. Another thing, I don't know if I'd say cool, but, shows how the empires, they just have a massive amount of resources and they're
Yeah.
using just, they don't even have to use their own, people to
Right.
fuel
Right.
this giant imperial regime. They're just using the
Yeah.
prisons and using this free labor, essentially slave labor. And clearly with their doubling sentences, they're just trying to get more work. And
Yeah.
um, man, it's well thought out episode, as they
Hmm.
all seem to be. Um, but I when I thought we were talking about, I was like, it's gonna be a different kind of prison episode. I just expected it to be sort of like prison, not like
Yeah.
factory. You know what I mean?
Factory of like
Factory,
almost internment camp
exactly.
slavery thing. Yeah, I think that it actually took it over the edge for prison stuff because, like you said, a prison is just sitting around trying to survive without getting stabbed or
There's
killed
like their
within it.
own gangs and things like that. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. No, it's worse.
yeah.
It's worse.
It's like,
It's
man,
worse.
and then just that doubling the sentence. Oh my gosh,
Yeah, that's harsh.
that's terrible. With that though, as we go through that, we did get the orange dress Mon Mothma. We did get that from.
We did.
We've been waiting for that.
I thought it was
Um,
just a costume change from the last one, and I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, it's different."
yeah,
But
me
we got a
too.
second dinner.
We did. We did. And it seems like things again aren't looking great. She
No.
her funding is seemingly that she hoped was going through. Now, this is a question I have for you because you mentioned this. Do you think that he's being honest? Her friend, I forget his name, but
Okay.
who yeah, do you think he's being honest about not being
I
able to
wanna
get those funds?
I wanna say yes. I think he's being honest. I think he's actually being honest about it.
I do too.
I would be surprised if they have him turn on her because like
Yeah.
she only has so many allies, but it's still up in the air. Like I don't even know. Like, and it bugs me when Lita shows up and Lita's like always not trying to be there. I'm
Yep.
like, what are you up to?
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Yeah, I know, right? Are you smoking with your friends or something?
I mean, I have a feeling she might know what her mom's doing, and so
Mm.
like she could be the one, crossing
That
them.
would actually, yeah, that would be that'd be really heartbreaking actually. Um,
Would you try that little squib drink with
s-
little worm that
so,
disintegrates in there?
you know, I will say I've never had an alcoholic beverage, and I feel like
Okay.
if I were to, I think that might kill me. It might kill me. I would not. It's constantly mentioned about how bad it is. Like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like, you
yeah.
know what? I don't want that. I think I'm okay. This is one of the few times where we were in a nice setting in Star Wars and I saw some food and I didn't want to try it.
Mm,
Like,
mm.
I'm at the Skywalker farm, like, give me the blue milk, give me the green
Yeah,
milk.
yeah,
I want it. This one, if
yeah.
they brought that at Galaxy's Edge, I don't know, man. They got the
Come in
worm
the
moving.
galaxy's edge.
What do you think? Tasty? Not tasty? Is it fruity? What do you
Well,
think?
they already said it wasn't good,
They
so
did say that.
I'm guessing it would probably taste more like something sour, I
Sour,
was guessing,
tart.
like tart, yeah, like, not like something more on the harder side or not easy to drink. But they're like, "We do it because we're rich and we're
Yeah.
politicians, so this is what we do." And speaking of all those, like, senators discussing their
Uh,
discussion about politics and stuff, and they're just like, "Oh, yeah, this and that." It was just very, like, means nothing, you know?
yep. Yep. I think that it's all, I wonder if it was all just another, like, if this whole dinner party thing this time was all just as a disguise to be able to talk to her friend again. I don't know. He said he's sticking around. Maybe I'm sticking around the last episode.
Yeah,
I think so. I'm assuming that's what it was. There wasn't like a setup for it
yeah,
necessarily. But we really didn't linger on it too long.
no.
And I mean, I don't care about like, I will always take. Mon Mothma. I just, even if it feels like a, like not necessarily as impactful of a scene, I'm like, hey man, it's Mon Mothma. I'm all right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, because something's gonna come from it. Like, they
yeah,
have to show where she was, you know,
they
and
do.
then show where she is now. So, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't always have to be, like, the greatest scene, but just kind of progressing the story of what they're doing on their side, because it's all gonna come to a point, you know,
It
in the
is.
story. So
And one thing that I almost forgot. A lot of things are happening. Uh, on what Ferrix, uh,
yeah, yeah.
Vel and Cinta both have made it there. To
Yeah, yeah,
and
keeping an eye on
Bix
Bix and Brasso, the big
and
guy.
Brasso. Yep, and they. I mean, Marva's sick, and
Yeah.
they said she's been spending a lot of time under the tunnel. In the tunnel, what's she doing down there?
She was trying to open a gate or a hatch or something
Yeah, I
so that
mean,
the rebels can get in, and I'm like, "Is that even a plan for them?" Like, she's just, like,
like,
making up
is some
some
fumes down there or something? Is she planting bombs? I don't know. She
yeah, I don't know.
I she's got I still think though she's got something planned. She's got something up her sleeve. She seems like even though I she's gotten sickly, but I think there's still something there.
Yeah.
But lots of threads start coming together here. Yes, not with Andor necessarily, he's still on his own, but everything around him is coming gravitating together. You
Mhm.
have the Empire coming in um with
Dedra?
Daedra, she's there. You
Yeah.
have Vel and Cinta. They're there keeping tabs on Bix.
Yeah.
Um, then Bix, of course. There's like, what's going on? What's going on? The shopkeep pack his shop.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on? What did you do with my dad? They took him. The Empire, took him for questioning, torture.
Yeah. Tortured
Uh,
him, yeah.
and
I
I
like how she's
thought,
like, Leave him," and then she's like, "Oh, get him out of here," kind
yeah,
of like trying to play this good cop, bad cop thing with
it's so
Bix.
great they showed that too because
Yeah.
that's just typical Empire deception there. But she's great
Yeah.
at it. She's
Yeah.
playing a game within a game as so many are.
Mhm.
But with Bix, I thought she wasn't gonna get away. Like when Brasso was sort of like, whoa, whoa, sorry guys, and he's
Well,
like,
well.
get to what's his name. She goes running,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, maybe she's hauling. She might be getting out of here. And then they
No.
cut to.
No,
Uh,
and it's really getting anywhere,
I thought she might
unfortunately.
at least hide away for a minute, but they got her.
Yeah,
They brought her, and
yeah.
we'll see what comes of that.
I love the back and forth with, Sintra and Vel. I mean, they're only keeping an eye on them just in case Andor comes back, and, I like how Sintra's like, "I'm all about the rebellion first, like,
Yep.
it's that before anything. Because then what are we doing, right?" Because I think Vel was like, "Let's just"
Yeah.
I don't know if it was just, "Let's get out of here, let's stop doing this," or whatever, but it felt like, or just, "Let's spend some time together," and Cintra's like, just, like, focused.
I
She's, like,
said,
laser focused, and she
I
even took a tug, she's like, or a dig at her, she's like, "Well, you could be a rich, some rich girl, right, from a rich family kinda thing," and I
yeah.
was like, "Oh,
Yeah,
interesting."
she told her like what is it? I told you from the beginning, it's the cause, the struggle before everything else.
Yeah,
And yeah, you're right. It seemed like Vel was always that anchor, but it shows that, anchor of the team, at least back on Aldani. But
mhm,
Cinta is her anchor, she's keeping her,
yeah,
um, sort of focused, And I think
yeah,
now we've seen this isn't the first time that Vel seems to have been, I don't know, it's different though. She was unfocused and almost losing it on at the mission at that point, and Cinta did keep her, you know, kept her in it when they were on top of the
right,
bridge, and now we have another
yeah,
instance, and I think that's just great. Shows their relationship, um,
yeah,
which is fantastic. But uh, I don't know what's gonna happen there. Vel is such a wild card to me right now. As far as
yeah,
like how her story's gonna play out, how it's gonna play out with Cassian. I don't think she's gonna try and kill him, honestly. Like she's been tasked to do. Maybe
yeah,
Cinta will. I don't know. Maybe she will, and maybe something happens there. Um, but with this, I mean, we have the threads coming together. 3 episodes left. Uh,
yeah.
and then big scene again.
Well,
Fine.
before I know
Okay.
what you're gonna say,
Yeah.
but before we move on to that, I was thinking there has to be some kind of shift in the dynamic between Andor, Vel, Sintra, and whatever. There's some things that's gonna happen on
Yep.
Ferrix to make them go, "Let's not kill Andor." And I'm wondering if one of them gets caught or gets tied up as,
Yeah,
someone
part
who
of.
might know something, and then Vel and Andor need to go save Sintra, and
Maybe.
then Bix, because I mean Andor's not gonna die, right? Even if they try to kill him, he's not gonna die.
No.
So so
Andor
there has to be
Reborn. That's
something.
season 2.
Yeah, or he gets cloned.
Oh no.
So I'm interested to see where that goes because like you said, it's a wild card, so I'm not as certain on what that's gonna happen. But it has to do something about them caring about each other. They'll not giving, not trading like Centra's life for the
Yeah.
cause or whatever. So,
Ah, yeah.
uh,
And
but
Bix, yeah.
the big scene, it's
Luthen,
yeah,
he meets someone. Meets up with
yeah, two
someone.
tubes. Meets with two tubes for the first time.
Yep, he gets to. We see our boy Saw Gerrera.
Yeah.
No respiratory issues.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
He still has a little bit of the, "Oh, Luthen, no,"
He
his
does.
little
He doesn't need his breather yet. He's not on his Vader
no,
moment yet. But
not yet.
I was like looking around the background. I'm like, where's she? Where's she? Is she
Yeah,
around
yeah.
here? No, but clearly
Trying
they
to
have
see
a
her, like
relationship of some sorts,
yeah,
and he's there to essentially try and bring Saw into a partnership of some sort, working with Anto Krieger. Uh,
yeah,
and so he's like, I will watch that scene on YouTube if I
yeah,
want to.
this
Like,
scene
it's
is the best scene in the episode.
amazing.
I love it. He's
Amazing.
like, "Was that you on Alton?" He's like, "Of course not. I thought it was you." And he's like, "Me? I couldn't do anything like that. It sounds something like you would do." I
I
love,
love that.
like, guys being chummy, not saying, who could be,
Yep,
what they know, just very still, can't trust anybody, in this world,
exactly.
especially at this point.
And he's like, I got these pieces for you, Saw. I got these pieces. You just got to
Yeah,
come meet this guy and, work together on. He needs some oversight. You need someone to
yeah.
watch his back. It's like, no, no,
Yeah,
that's
he's
it.
separatist.
It's
What are
like,
you
yeah,
stupid? No, I'm not gonna do it.
I
Like, you're
wouldn't
trying
do
to sell
that.
me or like, "What do you need? I'll get you whatever parts or whatever." No, I love it because what's really cool about this scene too is we know how Saw operates with his rebellion,
We
with
do.
the partisans. Like, he's very extremist. And then I like seeing Luthen trying to pull everyone together to make the rebellion. Um, taking all these parts that are against the Empire. But he's like, we can't beat them on our own. We need
Yep.
to actually work together and just, you know, it does take a lot for them to put like, their humility, and their for the greater good, like the actual like what they're actually trying to accomplish. You're not gonna be able to accomplish it alone. So I
Yeah.
love the scene. Just having both Forrest Whitaker and Skarsgård on screen together is just mwah. I don't know. Okay, so do you like Forrest Whitaker and Skarsgård or
Oh
Genevieve
man.
and Skarsgård better? Who do you think?
That's not fair. That's not fair.
Just putting it out there. We're not gonna hold you
Oh.
to it. You can change your mind next week.
Oh man.
I wish we probably. I want more scenes with Saw, but I don't think we're gonna get it.
I don't either, but maybe in season 2 I wouldn't be surprised. But
Oh, maybe season two.
but I'm gonna say Genevieve simply because
Okay.
I know Forrest Whitaker and I know that he's like this. I mean, amazing top tier kind of Oscar type of actor.
Yeah.
And with Genevieve is like I was expecting it, but it's great to actually finally see that on
Yeah.
screen. With that though, what I will say is I do think that all of this, I just give Mon Mothma as a character in Star Wars. I give her so much love. When you see
Yeah.
we have three factions now, three people who are
Yeah.
sort of heading a different sect of this, trying to make a rebellion happen.
Yeah.
All three different viewpoints. I would have thought, maybe Saw and Luthen would be closer to each other's
Ideals.
ideology,
Yeah.
and they, of course, they're butting heads. So just the fact that at some point Mon Mothma gets enough people together to agree enough to make
Yeah. Yeah.
one big rebellion, while Saw is still, of course, doing his thing, but it's impressive because these people seem very hard-headed in their own
Yeah.
ways. Obviously, they have a lot that they're fighting for, um, and you can't trust anybody, which makes it so tough to organize people who aren't already in it together. Can't
Yeah.
even trust your own family. So I think that this just honestly is going to build Mon Mothma's legacy even more. For getting once we figure out what's the rebellion is sort of come together as an actual thing. And I'm
Yeah.
still hoping, I think Bail the Organas are going to be, of course, a big part of that.
Oh, sure,
I don't
sure.
know if how big of a part they're going to be in the show itself. Maybe in season 2, I don't know, but yeah, I thought that this scene was fantastic, but I'm just so excited to see more of this between with Mon Mothma and those two.
Yeah. Like, going back to the Organas, I could see them being like an end,
Yeah.
like a cameo at the end of it as like because like I said, my mama doesn't have any friends right now,
Yep.
or allies politically, besides Tay, but I think Tay can switch sides on her.
I
But
think. Do you think she's already? Does she already? Is because Bale seemed like he was already sort of early on in the at least with the rebellion. He
right,
brought. Have you seen Tales of the Jedi?
yes,
Okay, so I mean, it seems like they're sort of alluding to him like it's time for you, you have a duty, and it seems like he's pretty early on in the rebellion stuff. So it seems
yeah,
like I think that I'm sure that I would say he's probably I think that he's definitely going to be an ally of Mon Mothma's if not already, even if it can't be like a tangible line that we see yet.
yeah. I think they're saving it. I think
Yeah,
they're saving.
same.
I think there might be a like I think what you're saying is they have a relationship, but we're just not seeing it on screen
Yeah,
yet.
yeah, exactly.
So I think that's gonna be the surprise, like, for the audience
Yeah.
who's not watching Tales or who's not involved in, Star Wars in that capacity,
Mm.
to tie, like, the prequels to this.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so I think it'll be more of a surprise for the fans who aren't expecting it. Um, but I
Obi-Wan
think because
crossover.
but I think because we saw, Jimmy Schmitz and then,
Yeah,
whoever I can't remember the actress who plays his wife, but since we have those characters right now, like I think that's gonna be an easy slot into this show,
definitely.
just to be like, oh, the Organas, and even maybe, oh well, I don't know how old Leia is here,
Yeah.
probably
No,
older
that'd be
than
yeah. Oh, I think that I wouldn't even I trust these people who are working on the show to be able to like if Leia's just there in a scene like with I think that's great. I think it's fine. Um
yeah,
I love Jimmy Schmitz. I love him. I love that guy so much. throw him in throw him in everything. Double cast him as a Jedi. I don't care. but uh
yeah. So, yeah, where do we go after this? I'm trying to
really
remember.
it pretty much comes to a close nearly as Cassian's going back to work, and
Mm,
after the Saw meeting, that's really pretty much the end of the show.
okay,
And really, this episode, there's so much packed into it.
yeah,
We drop in with a lot of people. We meet Andy Serkis' character and the whole prison stuff. We get to see Saw, albeit brief. Well, again, like you said, it's like maybe the best part of the episode. It's brief, but it's so lasting, and it's sort of a punch at the end. We drop in on Saw. He's like, I forget what the line exactly is, but I loved it. He's like, "That seems like a luxury for a man who's hiding in a cold caves." And like when they're going back and forth, I'm like, "Oh man, they're dropping some haymakers on each other here
yeah,
verbally."
yeah, yeah.
Um,
No, for sure. Um, Yeah, the one thing we didn't mention was, they introduced Melshi here in prison,
they
who's in Rogue
did.
One.
Oh yeah, they
Yeah,
did. You're right. We didn't
yeah,
mention
yeah.
that.
That was a little drop in of someone who's gonna survive and escape this prison with Cassian, so that's kinda cool to have someone else, um, from Rogue One that we'd never
Yeah,
guessed to be.
yeah, and
So,
that's yeah, I love this show. There's just so much in
yeah, it's
there that
really good.
y- you know what do we expect is Cassian getting out of prison the next episode, or is it gonna be
No,
episode wait 9, 10, 11?
9, 10,
Oh,
and then
12.
11.
Yeah, you're right. 10
Yeah.
probably.
So
Then
I think what we'll see in the next episode is them preparing to escape
yep,
and what it like them talking about they're going to be like building the thing and talking about okay, well, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. Who can we trust? Should we, pointing at other tables.
yep.
My question to you, does Andy Serkis help or hinder the prison escape? Cuz he only has a year, so he thinks he's getting out, or do you think he dies? Well, I guess he's gonna die,
Mhm.
right? Trying to either help or hinder. So, what do you think? Where do you think his character will land?
Man, I would. Okay.
Put
I
your writer's hat on. Writer's hat on
Yep.
for this supporting
Okay,
character.
here's what I would love as a fan of just Andy Serkis. I would love it. I would love it if he like, oh man, if he finds out and then like I don't know how exactly this would happen. I want to see a breakdown, man. I want to see this guy break down. I want to see Andy Serkis show us those chops and like he's so close and it's like I could just stick this out. I think that he would hinder. I think he would hinder. I think
Yeah, I
he's
think
too
he's gonna
stuck in
hinder.
this. He's too institutionalized into this, world that this is life to him at this point. Yes, he's close to getting out, but I think that he's so wrapped up in like being that man in charge, supervisor, and I think it's hinder also. I do.
Okay.
Although
Yeah, I
I don't know. I'm so
I I think he's gonna hinder.
yeah.
At the very end, he's gonna hinder, and I hope that he falls out into the water as his death.
Oh man. Yeah,
Uh,
that'd be tough.
I mean, as much as like it'd be cool for him to survive,
Yep.
um, I think you're right. I think he's too involved in this whole cog of this prison life and only having a year. Like he's like, I only have a
Yeah.
year. I don't want to live on the run. I just want to do this. You guys all need to stay. And they're like, we can't stay. And yeah, it's gonna be a mess, man.
Yeah.
The episode 10 is gonna be insane.
Some guards are definitely gonna I think guards are getting zapped. We're gonna
They're getting
see
zapped, shot. Some boots are gonna be stolen.
I want my
Um,
Ocean's 11 episode.
yeah, another heist for Andor, but I'm really still enjoying it. Again, this episode's gonna be it's hard to take in because
Yep.
I mean it alludes to like internment camps, Holocaust, like all of that stuff, and I'm just like I can't think of any Star Wars show that makes me feel like Andor does, and that's why I'm really enjoying it. Is all this extra emotion and extra thematics that they're using, or themes that they have in the show, just hit in so many different places than Star Wars has.
Yeah.
And for me personally.
I will say as someone who did cry watching episode 9, this show absolutely really taps in like I'm not sitting on my couch crying while I'm watching Andor. It's a
Yeah,
different thing. That's mostly
yeah,
uh but it makes yeah, it does leave you sort of sometimes with a pit in your stomach, sometimes
it
with
does.
like just really thinking about life in general. You
Yeah,
could be thinking. I mean, I'm left thinking about this episode for a lot of times. I'll watch it when it drops at midnight, and then I'm just thinking about it for until I fall asleep, pretty much.
yeah.
And one quick thing that's half unrelated. It's related.
Mhm,
Just going way
mhm.
back. And when I was rewatching it, I didn't really pick this out. While I was watching it the first time, which I suppose is the most important thing. Most people don't rewatch the episodes. But the score when he's going to the prison and even in the prison a bit very Blade Runner-y to me, and
Mm,
I
mhm.
actually don't mind it. But as I was rewatching it, I was like, this feels so much like Blade Runner. It was but I like the score. It just felt
Yeah,
very different.
yeah.
But I liked it. So I just want to say that the score stood out to me more so the second time I watched it. I paid attention more to it. Um,
Okay.
and exceptional. I wish I would have paid attention to who scored it again because I feel so. I'm usually on top of all this stuff. I know who directed the episodes and who scored the episodes, and for whatever reason, I just haven't been. Um,
Yeah,
but I think they're doing a good job. It's
yeah. I
not.
heard his name.
I
I didn't
know.
commit it to memory. But we'll come back with it next week.
We will.
To give him props.
We will
'Cause
absolutely.
he's doing a good job, like, it's different, it's not a John Williams, it's not it's very different from Star Wars,
Hmm.
but again, we need to embrace change and different because then we're just gonna keep getting the same stuff, so I'm enjoying it. I'm not, like, the biggest I love music, but,
Yeah.
like, soundtracks and it
I
I don't really notice that in movies,
I'm definitely a
unless it's, like, very
score and
different.
soundtrack junkie for sure. I will say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like we'll 90% of the time if we listen to them a lot, but
Yeah,
what I'll say is like quick side tangent, nothing related to Star Wars really. I just heard this. I've been off of social media and also I'm going to be off. I'm going to get on to post stuff for this, but I'm pretty much off until Black Panther because I saw like a couple
Mm,
half spoilers and I follow too many
mm,
pages and I'm
yeah,
too excited for it.
yeah.
I saw a casting rumor, Diego Luna as Reed Richards. are we are we thumbs up? Are we thumbs down?
We are thumbs down on that one, sir.
I'm giving it a thumb, 75% up.
I like Diego Luna. I don't think he's Reed Richards though.
I think he could be, but off the jump, maybe not. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Remember the guy from You on
I
Netflix?
saw that too. Yeah, I saw those a bunch. He looks the part.
I think he looks more the part.
He definitely
Um,
looks the part.
or
Yeah.
whatever. I don't even know what they're gonna
He's
do.
also
I
young.
wasn't really, yeah. I wasn't really into the Jim Halpert. What's his name? What's the
John
name? Of,
Krasinski.
I'm not on the John Krasinski.
You know,
I'm usually not with the fan casting. Usually,
I think
I feel
that
like sometimes fan casting is a little too narrow minded. But
I agree. There's a lot of times where I'll be like, "Oh, that would be great," and then they cast some unknown or someone that I didn't
right,
expect, and I'm like, "Wow, that's fantastic."
yeah,
There's a million examples of that, and I'm not going to be able to pull any of them right now. Um,
sure, sure,
but I guess Robert Pattinson's Batman. I didn't expect that. I loved it, but there's a million examples. But basically, with that, I agree. I think they should probably go younger also in general. But that's
yeah,
just total side tangent. Just Diego adjacent.
yeah.
Um,
I got my tickets to Black Panther, so
did
I'm
you?
excited.
Hey,
Yeah,
nice,
Thursday night, so I'm gonna see it with a hot crowd, so it doesn't ruin my movie experience. Because
dude.
I've been seeing all the Marvel movies outside of the Thursday night, so I was able to make it work this time.
I'm going Friday. And I'm sort of sad, but
You'll be
it's
okay.
I will
You'll
be
be fine.
okay. And so I'm saying like I'm telling you, if I'm
Yeah.
outside, I have headphones in. When we
Mhm.
go to the movies, especially if it's not first showing, headphones in until the previews are like going, and then I'll
Yeah,
take them
yeah.
out just because I've had a few
Dude,
important things spoiled and ruined my
yeah.
week.
I go as far as don't even tell me your thoughts on the movie, like if you liked it, didn't like it, loved
Yep.
it. Like to me, that sets my expectations too high. So
Yeah.
then I'm like, oh, that person loved it. I'm like, this is gonna be good. And then if I'm not in love with it, then it makes it worse. So I'm that person who I'm like, don't tell me your rankings, don't tell me anything
Yeah.
until I actually go see this movie. But I usually try to catch the Marvel movies as soon as they
They
hit
drop.
theater
Yeah.
because
It's too
yeah, spoilers. I got
instantly.
worst spoiler I had was Cad Bane's appearance in
Really?
Boba Fett. Yeah.
Oh man.
I went a little too far on a YouTube playlist thing and it was just blue face Cad Bane right there. But that episode was still really great. So even despite knowing Cad Bane was showing up, it
Yeah.
was still one of my favorite episodes of that show.
I will tell you my worst spoiler probably ever, and it's so long ago, but it's that they stick with me that bad.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was summer when Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man's Chest was coming out, the second one,
Okay.
and
Second one, okay.
I was so excited because I loved the first one. I loved it. We were
Oh,
playing with
Stellan
fake swords and huh?
Skarsgård.
Yes. And so we're out there. And I'm like, my mom I'd been bugging her forever. She got us tickets
Yeah.
for that Saturday. My friend saw it the Thursday. We were hanging out. He's like, dude, you see Pirates of the Caribbean? I'm like, dude, not yet. Saturday. And he's like, Captain Jack Sparrow dies. I'm like,
Uh,
oh. And I left. I was like, I'm not. I was so
oh
heartbroken. I'm
no.
like, I'm going
Oh
home.
no.
And so I went
No.
home. And I was so, so, so upset. And that has stuck with me ever since.
Yeah.
So please don't spoil things for people,
No
ladies and
spoilers.
gentlemen.
Yeah.
But, I'm excited for next week. I don't know, whatever is going to happen. I think, just more and more we're building up. I'm anticipating some more heartbreak.
Yeah.
We'll get more attached to these inmates with Cassian, and it's just
Well, fortunately, I don't know anybody's name. I didn't get that far because, like, the Aldani crew, I was like, I like all these guys. These guys, I'm like, you can all betray me. You can all be Skeen. You guys aren't gonna survive this. I don't
no,
even care.
Cassian's lone survivor.
Yeah. Well, at least Melshi's gonna survive.
Yeah,
We know Mel.
Melshi. Like, actually, we changed our mind.
Like a Melshi clone.
There's a twin also named Melshi. No, it has a twin
Operation Center.
who's like they heard their brother Melshi died, and they
Yeah.
started going by their name in
Yeah.
disguise.
Yeah.
Um, oh man.
Oh my gosh.
But
Please, no.
good episode for the first time in the history of this show. We have done this in under an hour, so
Yeah.
props to us. We always aim for an hour. Right now we're at 55 minutes. So hey,
That's good.
it was
That's
good.
close enough.
Yeah, yeah, I would say so as well. But like we said, like Parade suggested, let us know, who did you think of first when you saw? I almost said Andy Samberg, Andy Andy Samberg, Andy
I think of
Serkis.
SNL. I think
Yeah.
of when I see Andy Samberg.
Who did you think of first when you saw Andy Serkis on screen? Let
Yeah,
us know
let
in the
us know.
comments. Also, if you like this content, you like this video, drop a like, drop a subscription.
Yeah.
You know, we appreciate it all.
Yeah.
Not only that, but scroll down to the bottom of the page, follow Parade's channel. He's got stuff coming
Yeah,
down the pipe soon. Trust me.
I
Uh,
do.
it's gonna happen, and it's gonna be great. Um, so definitely make sure you drop a subscription to his channel. Make sure you're up to date for when that video drops, and you'll be ready to go. Parade,
Mhm.
where can they find you, my friend?
You can find me right now on Instagram at ParadeReigner, ParadeReigner. And if you're interested in collectibles, I seldomly post the things that I used to purchase
Heck yeah.
on Parade Collects. Not super active on there, but yeah, Parade Rainer, I'm more active, but I'm also taking somewhat of a social media break. I think it's always healthy to step away
I
from
agree.
the the little rat race of keeping up with the Joneses and seeing the haves and have-nots. But I'm only usually on there to talk to people. So if you guys just hit me up in my DMs, more than
Mm-hmm.
willing to say hello. And if you're enjoying this, so but yeah, again, I want to thank Eli for having me do this show. It's been great. I'm always having a good time. I'm dreading when it actually ends,
Yeah.
when we're in the 12th episode. But we're gonna have more stuff coming. We have plans. We've already talked about it. And you know, I think there's plans for. I'll just promote Eli here doing Tales of the Jedi soon. A review of that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, so
definitely.
that'll be cool. I'm looking forward to seeing his discussion on that and hearing what he thinks. Because I don't know. We haven't
Well,
talked
yeah,
about
we
it.
have not talked about it at all. I will say thank you for that. Me and my friend Sylvia, who you can find at Coffee and Star Wars, also at the bottom of my channel. We're gonna be doing a
Nice.
review of Tales of the Jedi. Beyond that, I'm actually half excited for the show to get done with 12 episodes, because I'm actually really excited to just talk about all kinds of things with you, and that may free
Yeah.
up a weekly spot to do like whatever. And
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm so excited to just go sort of off the rails talking about who knows
Mhm.
what. And so that's something that I'm really excited for, both on my channel and yours. Uh,
Yeah.
because I think that we're both really into a lot of the things that we're really into, but we
Yeah,
also see things differently. We're
we do.
more attuned to certain things than others, and or than to each other, you know. So I'm really excited. But
I'm excited too.
as always, thank you guys all. May the force be with you, even though it doesn't need to be said in the show. It's still with us. But we'll see you next time. Appreciate it.
Chewie.